Well, welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews. Today we're talking about why you shouldn't buy a Picoscope. A Picoscope is an automotive-based diagnostic software tool, and you shouldn't buy it. And that's the advice that I was given, not to buy a Picoscope, for the top 3 reasons. There you go. Number 1, you're not an automotive technician. Got no business buying it because you're not an automotive technician, and that's all there is to it. Number 2, it's too expensive. You shouldn't buy it because it's just way too expensive. And number 3, you'll never use it. You're just wasting your time, and you should move on. Well, this video is strictly not all about Pico and Picoscopes. And Picoscopes, for some of you who don't know what it is, it's an automotive-based software that is a tool in diagnosing faults on a vehicle. This video is strictly not about automotive faults and Picoscope. It's about human nature. But it is about Picoscope. Now I'm going to show you the Picoscope that I have. And well, as you can tell, I did not take their advice. So I'm going to show you the Picoscope here in a second, and let's get to this. Okay, this is the kit that I bought. It is just terrific. Now this Pico that I bought here is only a 2-channel scope, and for me, I figured that's all I needed. And there's a 2-channel, a 4-channel. This is an older series. I've had this for about 5 years. And this is just my laptop, and it's just running the software in the background. The best thing about Pico that I do like is the software on your computer is free. It's updated for free. There is no monthly charge, and it is awesome. Okay, so you've seen the Picoscope. This video is not about the Picoscope. I love the Picoscope, and for me, I think it was a good investment. Now, what I want to get to here is the vast majority of all the tools sold in the world are not sold to automotive technicians. They are sold to the general public. You'd go bankrupt trying to sell just tools to automotive technicians. I have 2 friends that are in the trade, and both of them do not know how to use a Picoscope. They don't know how to use an oscilloscope. And the way it works in their particular dealership is they have guys that are trained for only diagnostics. And whenever they need somebody to do diagnostics, well, they're the guys that do it. And my friends don't do that kind of work. They have no idea what this is. They wouldn't even know which end to start. And there is not, as far as I know, in the automotive trade, that many people that actually have a Picoscope. Now, some have other type of scopes. You've got the Snap-on Verus. You've got all kinds of different scopes out there. But generally, what I notice in the automotive field is people who have their own shops buy tools that make them money. And unless you have a use for a tool, then you really, yeah, you got some guys just like to collect tools like everybody else. But generally, the people that are in business to make money, well, they're buying tools that make them money. As far as I'm concerned, in my limited ability, I think the Picoscope far surpasses any scope out there for what it can do. And to tell you the truth, it's expensive. Sure, it's expensive. I mean, you go pay $2,000 for a laptop, and this 2-channel scope here, up here in Canada, cost me just over $2,000. And why didn't I take the advice of all these people that said, you're not a tech, it's too expensive, and you'll never use it? Well, think about it. Who is it that actually buys anything in your life and justifies it by them 3 criteria? I have a friend earlier this year bought himself a brand new Corvette. What am I going to tell him? You don't need a Corvette. You got no use for it. You'll never use it, and it's too expensive. Well, you know what? When it comes down to it, don't buy stuff you can't afford. And if you like to buy stuff and you get some enjoyment out of it, well then buy it. That's the way that I look at it. I mean, who is the one who actually judges these type of things and gives advice? Well, how many people enjoy going golfing and spend a huge amount of money on golfing and buying golf clubs, custom golf clubs? That's expensive. You got people that like to travel, and you can go anywhere in the world and it's going to cost you thousands of dollars for a trip for a couple of weeks. And you tell people you really shouldn't take a trip because you know what? After you come back from the trip, your trip's over and you just blew $2,000 or $3,000. Well, no, you don't. If you have the money, you can afford it. Well, then I say all the power to you. Now, it's something that I guess a lot of people have in the back of their mind, trying to justify what you should buy in your life and what you shouldn't buy in your life. And for me, the Picoscope was more of a challenge because I enjoy the automotive field. I'm not in the automotive field. I know that I have the ability to call up some people and ask them and say, look, I'm having a problem with my vehicle. Can you help me out here? And I know in a lot of instances they're going to say, you're going to need a scope. Let me know what it looks like. Can you take a screenshot? Let me know what it looks like and I can help you out. And you know what? That is invaluable right there. And for a lot of you who don't have a scope, yeah, you can go through life quite easily without ever having one, and you can go through life quite easily without buying yourself a sports car or golf clubs or custom tennis racket. And this is strictly a video not about Picoscope, is it? So what it comes down to it is this little investment of a couple of $1,000s to me is well worth it. I mean, for me, I haven't even scratched the surface of understanding all of it because I really don't have the opportunity to put it through its full potential all the time. It's constantly updating with new testing procedures, and it is just incredible. If you have any interest at all in the automotive field and you enjoy testing equipment, I think it's a great, I don't know if there's anything out there that compares to this. I know you can get up here in Canada, if you wanted to buy a nice snap-on Veris, the top of the line there, you're talking 15 grand. And, yeah, that's expensive. And for those that can afford that, sure. But you're not going to get the same as you can out of a Pico for a lot less. Now, of course, it's the portability. And some people have solved the portability problems, with the Pico, because really this is a platform base. You got to have a laptop. You have to have it hooked up. It does take a little, you just can't grab a hold of it and just, make it so mobile all the time. But if you have a shop, yeah, you're on a desk, on a rollout desk, or you're on something that you can, do repairs in. And I think the Picoscope is probably the best in my limited knowledge. I find it very challenging to me to figure out a lot of the menus on it. It's got a help section, and I think it's just incredible that what it can do. Now, do you need this? No, you don't need this. I mean, majority of vehicles are fixed with a multimeter and a test light. So, yeah, but if you want something in life and you could afford it, why not? That's the way I look at it. If I want to go buy myself, a vehicle and I can afford it and it's something that I want and it makes you happy and it makes your life happier, well then, fine. You only get one turnaround in life and you might as well make the best of it. And for me, people telling me, you're not a technician, don't buy Picoscope. It's too expensive and you never, all this kind of stuff. It gets kind of tired after a while. And yeah, enjoy life. Do the best you can with it. Down below, I'm going to put 3 channels. And these are friends of mine that have the Picoscope. And one will be Keith. And the next one will be Terry. And the next one will be Mike. Now, Mike is just new to the Picoscope too, and I think a lot of people could learn off of his learning. Terry is a is an electrical engineer, and he's got a whole series on the Picoscope and how to use it. And the guy is sharp as a tack, and he knows what he's talking about, and you can learn from that. And then we got Keith, who's actually in the business, and he's just as sharp as the other two fellas too. And you can learn from his channel as well about the Picoscope. I'm not demonstrating the Picoscope for you. I may in the future do a couple of videos on it, but for me, I like learning from other people. And I only talk about other people on my channel. I have no affiliation with Picoscope at all, and I won't mention the people that I bought the unit from myself. And I only like to promote people on my channel that are on YouTube. And I won't permit, you know, like, oh, if you want to learn how to operate a Picoscope, you know, go watch this company or go watch that company. And this place has got great training in that place. No, no, no. I won't allow them links on my channel. I promote the people who I like and who I think my viewers would like as well. And learning from each other on YouTube, I think, is the best way. And I will not promote corporations that are affiliated with the Picoscope. I promote my friends. And I promote other YouTubers that I know. And there's lots of YouTube channels out there that do this, but I decided to pick 3 of my own and promote them. And I think that's a good thing to do. So thanks for joining me here today, and take a look at the links below and check out them channels if you're interested in the Picoscope and learning a little bit about what it can do and whether you'd be interested in it just as much as I am. So thanks for joining me here today, and you guys take care. If you haven't seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe. Cheers.